Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sing, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So, I came across this video where Charlie Kirk and Candice Owen were talking to a black lady who actually asked them questions. And the fact that they are very, very quick to hush the young lady up while she was asking her question, I mean, made it clear that what the young lady asked was absolutely true. Now, we all already know that Candice Owen has never been for us, not even for a minute or any day. And also, Charlie Kirk has really been right to the seas towards people that look like me. And he is not hiding that. That has really been very obvious. And the fact that the young lady is also a graduate, a military, and also pursuing another, I think, degree, probably a master's or something higher than that also. And Charlie Kirk also, I do not have problem with people that like probably did not have degree and all that. But Charlie Kirk has been going to schools and all that, doing public speaking without even having any certification, right? And he is doing it like, I don't know, but he is big on that, right? That is also privilege because since they have refused to acknowledge that they are privileged. Now, the truth is that the same people that will tell you that we are not privileged, we don't have any white privilege and all that, black people have black privilege, are the same people that will never for a minute or a second give up their skin color for to be black. Let's get into this video.
I'm a black woman, and I believe that white privilege fucking exists. And the reason why white privilege exists is because you guys refuse to acknowledge the history that put people in this position. You want to tell me that white privilege doesn't exist when white people had a fucking upper hand for 250 years to develop generational wealth, and that black people didn't get the right to fucking vote until the 60s.
What's funny about that is blacks were doing better during
Why
that
do
time.
we always call people
no,
blacks?
because you
did.
I'm black.
Can we just be black people? Can we just be like African Americans or something? Why are we
The
just
black
blacks?
community? How would you like it said? What makes you feel better on the inside?
Really, anything else other than what you're saying?
Tell me. I'll say how you want
Anything
it.
else
I'll package
other
it how you need it. Tell me what makes you feel
Literally anything else other than what you're saying.
better. Okay,
But please
anything
finish
else.
your point.
Why is it that anything else, right? In the Jim Crow era, blacks were doing better. Economically, we're outpacing whites under the Jim Crow era than we were doing.
Let's
Than we are
see.
doing.
It
I'm not
probably
done.
has
Than
to
we are
do
doing
with the
today
fact that
after
we had our own
$22 trillion
communities
of government
before the
handouts.
fucking
The black
KKK
community-
came and burnt them
The
down.
KKK were Democrats, but give me a second. So after $22 trillion of government handouts and a black president
After how many
for
years of
8 years, the
slavery
black
and
community is
44
worse off
white
today than
presidents,
we were in the Jim
44
Crow era. How
white
is
male
that possible?
presidents,
Oh, I know, because they
97%
sold you
white
your
male
oppression and you
Congress.
bought it. So you're actually the reason why people like us can't do well, because they sold you our oppression and you bought it. Blacks were doing better under the Jim Crow era.
What can she not do in America that a white person can do? What opportunity? You served in the military. You've made good choices. You're getting rewarded for them. You're going to live in the American middle class. What privilege do I have that you don't have that is based on skin color, not on wealth or socioeconomic status? Please.
The fact that you are sitting here with like little to no education trying to talk to people about white privilege is white privilege.
Tell me one thing I said that's wrong, and don't use an argument from authority. Make a good argument.
I have a degree.
Don't
I'm
cite
arguing
your
from
credentials.
authority
I have
because
a
I'm telling
degree.
you my life experience.
That's not your life experience.
Name
That's a
one-
degree.
Really? I'm sorry. Did you
one
live my
thing-
life?
That means nothing.
Did you live my life?
That means
Name
that's a
one
degree.
thing
You're not smarter than
that
him
you
because you have a
can't do
degree. Just so you know
that
that. That's
I
a fallacy.
can do.
That's a fallacy.
Name one thing that you can't do that I can do.
I don't know. I can't make a whole fucking dollar.
What? You can't? Why?
Oh my God.
You're trying to tell me in the military women aren't paid the same as men for equal work?
In the military, up until 2 years ago, women weren't even allowed to do most of the jobs that men
Answer the
can do.
question. You just said you couldn't make a dollar.
Yeah, let's talk
Now
about.
we're moving
That
on.
has
No,
no-
no, no. Let's
nothing
talk
to do
about
with
for a
skin
second
color.
that you want to say that
What-
everyone in the military
what can I not
paid a
do?
shitty
There's
wage.
a feminist
So
lie,
that makes it
radical
right.
feminist lie, and they also sell. There's so many different ways they sell you your oppression, and she has purchased all of them today. So right now we are on sexism, right? So she's saying that I can't make a full dollar. Yes, you can. If women stop
So
going
it's a lie.
in,
I bet
to-
he got
I'm not
paid
done
more to be
speaking.
here than
I'm
you
not done
did.
Speaking, okay. If women stop going into career fields like fashion and Vogue and journalism,
psychology,
and we start going into fields like
engineering,
business, and hard academics,
finance,
we will make the exact same money that men make. The wage gap is a myth and a lie. It's a myth and a lie, okay? It's actually a myth and a lie. I understand that you need to be oppressed, but you have just heard from two black people that haven't purchased their oppression from the Democrat Party. Respect that.
And what frustrates me is you served our country, which deserves to be applauded, and you have lived a life of a victor, and you have the gumption to tell me you're a victim without evidence. You were not able to cite one thing that you cannot do that I can do. If you make good choices, you will get those choices rewarded. And you brought zero evidence except an argument from an authority and an insult to my lack of a college degree, of which I am so proud of, because I'm not indoctrinated because I didn't go to college.
I'm an 8-year military veteran. I'm a college student. I'm a black woman. And I believe that white privilege fucking exists.
You served in the military. You've made good choices.
Stop right there. Let's pay attention to the rhetorical strategies and the fucking backflips that are about to take place. Because people like Charlie Kirk and someone else who regrettably pops up in this video often do these rhetorical tricks in order to confuse people and trip them up when talking about the topic of white privilege. So let's get into it.
You've made good choices. You're getting rewarded for them. You're going to live in the American middle class. What privilege do I have that you don't have that is based on skin color, not on wealth or socioeconomic status? Name one thing that you can't do that I can do.
Instance of bullshit number one. We begin with Charlie asking her to name one privilege that he has that she doesn't, that isn't based off of wealth or socioeconomic status, as if the topic of white privilege that she said and began this discussion with doesn't have anything to do with wealth or socioeconomic status. As if we don't live in a country where the outcome that would happen as a result of the legislative policies that were pursued by governments in the past literally did not directly contribute to people's wealth and socioeconomic status. As in kindergarten words, when you make people slave and can't make money, they will have no fucking money. One of the many justifications they use for the institution of slavery and why it was legal and okay is because black people, the racial category that they came up with, were not human. So you couldn't enslave humans, but you can enslave black people if they're not human. That also led to a cascade of negative stereotypes that we're still living with today. Also, when you free people and then make it so that they don't have anything to build with or can't work wherever they want to because you know they're black people and inferior, you greatly hamper their earning potential. There are a good 99 other list of things that get affected by this one thing alone that all contribute to socioeconomic status and directly to wealth. So painting someone into a corner where they have to tell you about white privilege without talking about what impact race has had on socioeconomic status or wealth is like asking me to teach you math without numbers and then looking at me crazy when I fumble. The three are combined. You cannot separate them. That's how we start. Then Charlie says,
name one thing that you can't do that I can do.
So now we have to talk about the topic of white privilege that affects entire demographics of people only on an individualized basis. If you can't name something that I can go down the street right now and do, and you can't, well, looks like the whole concept gets thrown out the window. It's a catch-22 because if I say, I can't go down the street and be overly aggressive with a police officer and expect to live, they can immediately go, well, that's hyperbolic because not every black person who's aggressive with a cop dies. There are plenty of white people who've been killed by police for being aggressive with police. And who are you talking about? George Floyd, who actually died of fentanyl? That's how they bury you before you even get the chance to say anything. But let's hear the response.
I don't know. I can't make a whole fucking dollar.
What? You can't? Why?
Oh my god.
That was all of our reaction when you popped on the screen, Candace. Let's see what the response from her is.
There's so many different ways they sell you oppression, and she has purchased all of them today. So right now we are on sexism, right? So she's saying that I can't make a full dollar. Yes, you can.
What frustrates me?
Hey, racism affects how much money black people can make. No. Cool, dude. Anyway, the data says black workers still earn less than their white counterparts. Based on data collected from the National Women's Law Center, black women who worked full-time year-round low-wage occupations were typically paid about $21,700, which is $14,300 less compared to white non-Hispanic men in these occupations. Charlie Kirk is a white non-Hispanic man. In high-wage occupations like lawyers or engineers, black women were paid $40,000 less compared to non-Hispanic white men for the same job. Charlie Kirk is a non-Hispanic white man. Updated numbers from them show that black women working full-time year round typically make around 67 cents for every dollar that a non-Hispanic white man makes. That is what Charlie Kirk is. Annually, this translates to a median gap of $22,692. Black women make up about 10% of the low-wage workforce jobs, despite making up about 6.2% of the overall workforce. Their representation in high-wage jobs is about less than half of their representation in the overall workforce. Different source, Institute of Women's Policy and Research, have the gap around 79.5% of what white non-Hispanic men make, which Charlie Kirk is. And you can look for as many sources as you want on this topic, and they're going to say roughly the same thing. So when she said, I can't make a whole fucking dollar to a non-Hispanic white man, Charlie Kirk, she was factually correct. But this was the reaction. Charlie then goes on to say this.
What frustrates me is you served our country, which deserves to be applauded, and you have lived a life of a victor, and you have the gumption to tell me you're a victim without evidence.
When the person sitting next to you just told that woman that her claim that is factually backed up with evidence isn't true and that she's actually just a victor without evidence. You don't even want to have the conversation about deep-rooted racism within the military, with stories upon stories of black women and black people in general facing racial discrimination. You can read this if you would like to. Please read this as well. And if we were to analyze it, we see racial bias in officer promotions, administering military justice, and access to fucking VA benefits. And despite all of that, you're talking to a black woman who was in the military's face saying, oh, everything's all hunky-dory. Oh, and speaking of the person sitting next to you, if you want a perfect example of what white privilege is, fresh out of high school, what was Charlie doing? He gave a speech at Benedictine University and then got approached by a millionaire who decided you can't go to college and then financed his entire political career. And within the next 3 years ends up on the Washington Times, Fox News, CNBC, getting millions of dollars in donations. Donations from fossil fuel billionaires who happen to have direct ties to the person who financed this man's entire political career. Keep in mind, when I say finance his entire career, I mean Turning Point USA. The entire organization was founded by him and that person at age 18 because he met him one time and he thought he was good. It has been, what, 12 years since it was founded now, and he now has generational wealth. You know what Candace Owens was doing fresh out of high school? Winning a lawsuit against her high school for failing to protect her from racial threats and slurs that were getting thrown at her by white classmates. She then had to run up incredible numbers on Facebook for years upon years before getting the opportunity to found Blexit in 2018 with Brandon Tatum. I'm not giving Candace Owens props, but at 18, Charlie, the white man, had his entire career paid for, and Candace Owens actually had to work and do something before she had enough to do her own thing. And she's still an employee under the Daily Wire. This picture, in and of itself, is what we mean when we say white privilege. And both you are arguing against it, not even fucking realizing the irony. White people have not had to have their rights affirmed, debated, fought a war that almost tore the entire country apart over, reaffirmed, passed with amendments, still subjugated, leading movements upon movements for 100 years, then enshrined in the law eventually, only to continue being skirted and having to continue debate what the fuck's going on every single day. A complex set of multiple factors have led to white people having the momentum of history on their side. That is what white privilege is. Having to watch you two Dunning-Kruger yourselves over and over again on this topic has left me looking like this more times than you could imagine. Good day.
So this is all I got from this video, and just now looking at this video, you definitely will understand what white privilege looks like or white privilege is like, right? Now, it's really amazing how, anyway, Candace Owen, she has not been any better, or is she ever trying to change? Not at all. This has really been her pattern. For her to sit right in front of that young lady, she actually absolutely understood what the lady was talking about, but that is none of her problem. Why? Because she does not identify with people that look like me, which is okay. I don't have any problem with that, right? Coming from where the young lady was talking about, she talked about white privilege. It's really quite, should I say it's sad, or just that they have refused to acknowledge it, or they know that they have it, but they find it really hard to talk about it or to tell you that they have it. Now, let me tell us something. These people are the people that will never, ever give up their skin color just for anything. Why? That skin color also is, they make them immune, right, to so many things. So now these people can, like, they will never ever, not even for a second, treat that there to anything. They will never do that. Do I blame them? I don't blame them. But will they ever accept that there is that's gives them? They will never accept that, and that is just their own problem, not mine. We already know, because when we pull up and they pull up, we probably at a particular place, they know that they get ahead and the rest of it. The young lady was talking about pay gap. I mean, that I don't think that is new. It's only a food that will sit back and say that there is nothing like pay gap differences when it comes to organizations and all that. I have also brought them here because if I have not talked about it, I probably will be asking, is it true or not? But I am very much sure about that. How them get more, like, they pay them better than people that look like me. And I have also seen people that are Black people that are also in higher positions, and probably the people they train at work ends up getting a better position than them. So how do you tell me that somebody that I train is now the manager when I am still, like, probably I am a customer care service officer, and I end up training them where they get into the work, and now the person is a manager, somebody that you train? So how is that even, like, possible? I really don't get it. These are the things that when you look at, then you can actually say that there is white privilege and all that. And now they are making it look like the young lady is not, is not, she's out of her senses, right? She doesn't know what she's talking about. But sincerely speaking, she knows what she's talking about. And that she knew that whatever she said, they knew that whatever she said is true. And that it's on period, right? I love the fact that JJ also took his time to break all that down, the pay and the rest of it. I mean, like, this is also, well, even him sitting there or seated there talking to the young lady is also a privilege. Why? Because the young lady is, she went to military. She's also a graduate. She's probably running another, another degree, or probably something higher than degree and all that. But this person did not even, but he has been able to speak in so many places. If that is not privilege, tell me what would you call that? What would you call that? And what's her name? Candece. Owen was very, very quick to hush her down and make it look like she doesn't know what she is talking about. Absolutely. We all know that the young lady, she knew what she was talking about. And it already see one of the reasons why Black people have decided that Candece Owen is for some other people, not for them. And I love it. I love the fact that they also refused to bring her back to the community, because during the time she fell out with her Jewish company and all that, and she decided to come back because she felt like, how do I start again? And I have probably lost everything, and I really need to get back on my feet. She decided to sneak into Black community because she thought that would have been an easier way, and Black people showed her, showed her the door. Absolutely great. Let me know what you all think in the comment section, and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.